Hey everybody, this is Pooka, and I'm back with another game I played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Now, this happened when I was streaming my live games, and I happened to play a pretty interesting one. So, let's get right into it, and see what happened. Alright, so you can see I got paired up with somebody, and the game's loading, and look who it is. The one and only J-Wittz. So, looks like we're both going to mulligan here, and we're going to see what each other's playing. So, he's using Yanmega Magnezone, and I'm using a Stage 1 deck. Donphan Yanmega with Weavile, which is kind of meant to just shut your opponent down using Catcher, Quick Attackers, and then Weavile. So, Josh was actually waiting quite a while to try to play me. He was watching my stream, trying to click Find Game at the same time. And looks like we finally got paired up. So I'm going to open with 2 Yanmas, which is nice. And I'm going first, even better. And I have a decision to make right off the bat. Now, he starts with just Cleffa. I do play Tyrogue, so I could play conservatively. Just hold on to the Yanmega, pass. Or I could play one of my supporters. In this case, either Juniper or Copycat. Copycat's the more conservative route, because that way I don't have to discard 4 supporters and a Yanmega. Judge, probably not the best option here. So if I'm going to go for the Tyrogue, I want to play Copycat, which is what I decided to do, since I do have fairly good odds just to draw a Tyrogue and win the game. But as you can see, it doesn't work out that way. So just put an energy onto Yanma, and end my turn. Now why did I even play the energy? You see I have the Yanma, and he says he stopped watching my stream, so he's going to get donked fair and square. And I say it's Nationals all over again, because in the finals of Nationals, Game 3, I had a similar situation where I went for Tyrogue and had an Oak's New Theory for 6, and I didn't draw it. So, looks like he has a collector, so fairly decent start for him. And the reason I attached to Yanma is because I have that rainbow. So I could draw into a Yanmega, put a rainbow on Yanmega, and then not even worry about having to match hand size, because I can linear attack anyway. But we'll see what I draw into. Right now I don't have anything really. And we're going to have to see if he wants to Eek or not. If he does Eek, well, he didn't. Either way, this means he's got a pretty good hand. So, I'm really thinking about using Judge here. Juniper would be the best to set me up, but Judge would be the best to screw him up. So, I'm going to attach to my Yanma. This way I can get a Yanmega off my Judge and still linear attack his Cleffa for a knockout. So, as you can see, draw my 4 cards, and I do not get the Yanmega, which is unfortunate. This will allow him to Eek next turn. So, I'm going to retreat and do something a little strange. Dive for 20. This damage isn't really relevant, but even if he does have a Yanmega, he can just linear attack that Yanma now, so might as well just do the 20 damage. He's saying, did not expect that. And yeah, I wouldn't really either. I don't think I've ever really used Dive before, but here we are. He says it's the first time I've ever seen that, and I said I thought this is how you play the deck. Dive Rush. Very effective, but not really. So he does have a Yanmega, which is pretty bad for me. If you look at my hand, I have 3 cards. Nothing really useful. I do have an Oak's New Theory, which can let me get something. And then Josh is commenting how he did this against Tom Dolzel at Worlds. He accidentally announced linear attack instead of Sonic Boom. Oops. But as you can see, this is a pretty friendly game. Josh and I do know each other. And he's going to get the first knockout with a Sonic Boom. Now, this is going to put a lot of pressure on me, because I want to be the one to take the first prize in this matchup. If he sets up, I'm probably going to lose. The whole point of my deck is to rush him early so he doesn't get set up. But it looks like all I draw is Donphan. And I can Earthquake here or pass. I'm going to choose the Earthquake. Even though it gives him free prize off of my Yanma, I don't care too much because Donphan's really going to be my only hope at this point. I want to draw attention away from it, and if he ever knocks out the Donphan, I want it to be through a Magnezone, discarding or lost zoning 4 energy with a Lost Burn. So, as you can see, I just Earthquaked, pretty much sacrificing my Yanma, and he plays a Judge, which I'm not too unhappy about. I didn't have a very good hand. I would have to discard a lot of stuff, and I draw a much better hand. If I'm in a Juniper, I don't want to get rid of too many resources, so this is perfect. And okay, I do have a Fighting Energy, so I'll put that on my Donphan just to prepare for heavy impact eventually. Now I can choose the Communication for something, or just bench the Sneasel. And I'm going to bench the Sneasel since there's nothing in my discard I can Junk Arm for. And then go ahead and Juniper. And I'm going to hope for a catcher, and you can see I got one. So, I'm going to target down a Magnemite. I choose to go for the one with the Lightning Energy. I think this is actually a mistake. I should have gone for the one with the Rescue Energy. Reason being, now if this evolves and I catcher it out, he's going to be able to get back both the evolution and the basic. Whereas if I just catcher out the Magnemite with just lightning after it evolves, he won't get any of that back. So I think this was a mistake by me. We'll see if it hurts me at all, but I'm feeling okay about my position now. Donphan is very tough for a Yanmega Magnezone deck to take down without Kingdra. Especially once it starts getting 3 energy. Then it can start using Heavy Impact to knock out Yanmegas in 2 hits instead of 3. And it's got 120 hit points. It's got that Exoskeleton Pokebody. Reduces 20 damage. So, now we do see he has a Magneton. So, this is the situation I was talking about. If I do catcher out that Magneton now, he's going to get both the Magnemite and the Magneton back when I knock it out. So, I think this was a mistake by me. However, it doesn't look like Josh will be able to use Yanmega this turn to attack, because he's already played a supporter. Can't match my hand size. And he's probably going to have to Eek here. So, we do see he retreats. Communications for another Magnemite, just in case I catcher out the Magneton. And he uses Eek. He stays asleep. So, I draw Fighting Energy here, which is pretty fortunate. And I have to decide, do I want to Judge or Juniper? Now, I'd really like to get a catcher here, that's for sure. But, do I want to Juniper away all these resources? That's a tough question. Super Scoop Up, something I might need later. Plus Power, might need that later. But, I think I ended up deciding to Communication in my Donphan. I've already lost 2 Yanmas, so I can afford to discard a Yanmega at this point. It hurts losing that Super Scoop Up, but I don't think it'll make too big of a difference. And then I'm going to use Claw Snag just to see what's in his hand. And I think I end up taking a Junk Arm because Twins, not too useful at this point, seeing as he has 4 prizes left to my 5. The catcher, don't care about too much. The Junk Arms are really what's going to hurt me in the end. And I think I end up getting rid of one of those. It's a really tough decision there, really close, but I don't know. If you think I made a mistake there, let me know. It can go either way. I could even discard a Yanma if I wanted to. But no matter what, his hand looks pretty bad right now if I get a catcher. And what do you know? I draw a Junk Arm, get back a catcher, and I'll be able to catcher out his Magneton, and also I can bench these Pokemon if I want to. Lowering my hand size, making it difficult for him to match it. And then I can use Heavy Impact for a knockout on the Magneton. Now it'll be tough for him to match my hand size because A, I saw he didn't have a supporter to do that, and B, I'm going to be down to 3 cards, and he gets those 2 cards back for Magnezone. Now I'm feeling very good about my position. As long as he doesn't top deck into something here, I have kind of a stranglehold on the game. I have a fully powered Donphan versus, not a whole lot. A struggling board from Josh. He's got a Cleffa for me later to knock out. He's got Yanmegas, which I can take care of eventually. And, he really can't deal with the Donphan right now. It's a 3-hit knockout for Yanmega. I'm going to overpower him if he decides to attack into it. So he decides to play a catcher. He's probably going to target down my Yanma, which he does. And so he'll get another prize here. He was able to even my hand size. And I'm going to have to keep attacking with Donphan here. Now I get lucky in top deck and Oak's New Theory. I'm probably going to play down the cards in my hand. Start setting up another Donphan. Well, at least that's what I should have done. But at this point in the game, I'm really worrying about prizes, because he's only got 3 left, and Catcher is a scary, scary card. Now here, I Catcher out his Magnezone, and then use Heavy Impact. I'm feeling very good about this, because he didn't draw a supporter. I'll have 6 cards in my hand. He won't be able to even my hand size unless he top decks something. I know all he had was a Junk Arm. He benched that Yanma. So, unless he really drew into something off of his prize and his top card, he shouldn't have anything. Now, it looks like one of the cards he drew is Collector, and he's going to Junk Arm for Communication. Now, this is kind of scary. If he does have access to a Rare Candy Magnezone, the game's going to flip back around. Now, this was very unlikely for him to have, but looks like he's getting a Magnezone. He's going to be able to Rare Candy. Get that Magnezone out, and at this point I'm a little frustrated because I saw my opponent's hand with Weavile. I saw he didn't have very much. I felt like I was in a good position, but now, not so much. He's going to be able to even my hand size, he's going to have draw power, and if I don't draw a catcher soon to knock out that Magnezone, I'm going to be in some trouble because eventually he'll be able to knock me out. Now here he plays a Judge. At this point it looks like there's 2 energy on the Magnezone, so no real threat yet. The only way Donphan could be knocked out is if he had a Pachirisu and 2 Lightning. Now obviously I wasn't accounting for this, seeing as his hand was so bad. Didn't expect him to even get a Magnezone out, and I mean, to draw this off Judge would be even more unexpected. So really, I don't think my Donphan's in any danger here. But, what do I know? There's a communication, meaning he won't even hand sizes this turn, and he's got something up his sleeve. But it looks like he just grabs a Yanmega, and if I remember correctly, he tells me in the chat, oops, he thought Pachirisu wasn't prized, but it is. He has 2 Lightning in his hand, so if he had the Pachirisu and 2 Lightning energy, could have used self-generation, put 2 Lightning on the Pachirisu, and then Lost Burn all 4 energy in play in order to knock me out. That would have completely devastated me, because I would have no attackers. He would have complete board control, a prize lead, but instead he's going to have to Eek here. So, we see an Eek for 6. And I have an interesting decision. Do I want to Judge or Copycat? Now, at this point, Copycat's better, just because he has Yanmega. And I want to give myself the best chance to draw a catcher. I really think if I draw a catcher, this game's over. I absolutely win the game. I knock out that Magnezone. He has no chance of ever killing Donphan in an efficient manner. And eventually I'll just be able to run him over. So, then I go for a Super Scoop Up, I think. Well, at least I should. I get Tails on it, which is unfortunate for me, but it is a flip card. You can't depend on those. And I Heavy Impact for a knockout, taking the prize lead.